Welcome everybody to Mystic Muse Online, a metaphysical chat show. So glad everybody can make it today. We're running very late today from our normal 1 o'clock start time. We had a
Sorry for the inconvenience, people.
Customer come in that was very interested in all that we do here. So customers first, as they say. And but we're here live now, and welcome everybody. I'm David Shepard Love.
Hi, I'm Deborah Christie Love, and beautiful day here in Arizona in Camp Verde, and yeah, things picking up here, getting busier all the time. And it seemed just before the show was going to start, we had kind of several people walk into the building and things going on, and even a dog here. So lots happening right now. So yeah, so we're back to our show, and hopefully you can tune in still and have those questions ready for us. And we'll do our reading and our metaphysical discussion.
Sounds good. I see we already got a few viewers here. Welcome, Ahava, one of our regular viewers here. Glad to see you, and thanks for waiting while we were taking care of other people. The energy has just been through the roof this week, starting with our first super moon of the year, the pink moon, and lots of energy around that, and then the week just continues to grow. I think it was kind of a tense time there at the beginning of the week, but now all the signs and wonders, the miracles, the blessings are starting to flow now. So I hope everybody's enjoying those out there in our viewer land.
That's true. That super moon was there on Monday. And it had a powerful energy. It's just pushing that last bit of negativity or those things you want to let go of and to release, and just allowing making room and allowing that new energy to come in right now. Last night we had a huge spike. The Schumann resonance is off the charts, going to be for the next few days. I think you showed me the picture, 75 today, which is crazy high, considering it used to be years ago like eight, not even 8 really.
Yeah. For decades it was that.
So 75 is really off the charts, and I was starting to feel a little lightheaded and a little bit of vertigo last night. I'm sure I wasn't the only one. If you're tuned into that energy, it can affect you in those ways. So maybe just slow down, not move quite as fast. It helps with that, I find. If I move around too fast, I start to feel a little lightheaded. So that and other symptoms there, just take it easy and rest when you need to, because exhaustion kind of sets in too. There's a bit of a delayed reaction whenever we have these spikes or solar flares. We have that energy come in, and it's usually about a day and a half later that we start to feel, oh, I'm tired for no reason, oh, I'm a little lightheaded, and it takes that little bit of time to have it go through our system and come out in some kind of a symptom. So just allow it to be and know that it's all for the good, and rest when you can.
And you'll be doing, if it's anything like I've been feeling, you'll be wanting to take a few extra naps of the day, maybe a meditation or something. Take some time to shut your eyes and get into self, because all the energy is just bombarding the earth right now. Not only the Schumann resonance, the solar flares, but we're also experiencing a great influx of consciousness as the plasma belt fills with pure conscious energy sweeping across this part of our solar system. So we're all feeling this energy right now, and this is why we're getting great changes here on Earth. As the great cosmic energy sweeps into this region, we're going to keep seeing more and more changes, and these are 5D changes, meaning that the esoteric energies are increasing greater and grander all the time. As they do, the 3D energies become more light, airy-fairy, if you will, and it causes, you could call them disruption, but it's really more about just getting ourselves back to home, which is our 5D reality. We're really spiritual beings living a 3D experience, and so everything is in line right now, even though super high energy. Can you read that?
Like you, feeling so tired since yesterday. impatient with myself. Now I won't be. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to have a schedule in your head, and it doesn't always work out in 3D. And you'll notice that time is speeding up too, and that's part of what we experience and the frustration we have, because we are used to getting so much done, and we have to kind of lighten up because it's hard to fit everything in a day. The time just seems to speed by. But one of the good symptoms I've noticed is it's a lighter energy around, and things just kind of work out more smoothly, quicker, unexpectedly, and it's a little bit easier to stay in a happier, lighter space, and to feel that happiness and joy come in, and to be able to maintain that energy with ease and with grace, because it's just all around us, and I think it's easier for me to stay in that and get into that space anymore.
What helps for people that are used to living in the now and going with the flow is certainly where we're at right now. Trying to force this or that is not going to work so well anymore. We really are called to just go in the moment, and really living beyond time, and allowing the great synchronistic field around us to guide us. And as we believe that that's happening, it's going to become even more cooperative with us. It's only our own resistance that causes some shakeups in our lives. So I encourage everybody to be like a leaf flowing on a river, down a stream, and just go wherever the great cosmos takes us, because resistance is futile, and in fact it could even be dangerous if we try to push our ego at this time. It's not about ego at this time. It's about giving, loving, and sharing with yourself, people, and really just the whole world around you with an open heart.
That's true. We have to realize, though, ego gets a bad rap sometimes. People feel like, well, we need to suppress it and kill this ego, and it's really about just being aware of the ego and what the ego's purpose and role. I should close the door, maybe.
It's okay.
As I was saying, the ego has a purpose, and that purpose has always been to really protect us and to help us with instinctual things. A lot going on. So, when we've done something in the past that might have been dangerous, that our ego kicks in to try to prevent that, or to remind us, oh, remember what happened last time you did something similar. So we have to take it with a grain of salt and weigh the pros and cons with the ego. The ego is there as a self-defense or a protection mechanism to really protect your 3D body from danger or from things that might have hurt you in the past. It has a memory link to it. But we have to realize that if we're going into a new situation, those messages may or may not be useful, and we have to kind of be the one that's observing this and decide, is this useful at this time or is it not useful? And a lot of times it isn't useful, but it is still there to protect you, and we have to realize that if we bless that ego and say thank you for looking out for me, and be grateful for that energy, and let it go, and it won't affect you unless you allow it to affect you, and just be that observer of what's going on within.
Well, the ego actually is important. I may have misspoke there a little bit. The ego does get a lot of bad rap, but to me it's always been a balance between infinite and finite. The infinite being the great God source, the great universal mind, but the center of the universe is us, and you might call us that ego, that number one. So it's important to love ourselves first, to honor ourselves, to know that we are God and goddesses, and that we are given all power in heaven and earth. Where the separation happens is we start to think ourselves separate from the universe, and the ego perhaps gets too strong, and as the ego gets stronger, it tends to shut things out. I believe the acronym there is edging God out. So for the word ego. So ego's a good thing to reemphasize myself, but if we do it at the detriment of other people, other things around us, and think that we're the only one, then that's where the complications arise.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two kinds of fear, and one fear is, you know, a fear of a clear and present danger that we could be getting ourselves into. That's something to look out for and heed that fear. But other fears of situations and new things, and those are more emotional fears, and most of those we find if we take them apart and diffuse them, they really don't really exist. So we have to determine which is real and which isn't.
Welcome, Julie from Ontario. That name's familiar. You'll have to.
Julie from our psychic class.
Is that what it is from our psychic class?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at that profile picture, and it's impossible to see. But welcome, Julie. I kind of recognize your profile name there.
Nice to see
and nice to see people from. We actually been out here almost over a year now, and but so many of our followers follow our show from Ontario, where well, you lived all your life, and I was up there for 10 years. So we're taking that same energy now that we brought into Barrie, Ontario, and now in Camp Verde, in the shadow of Sedona, Arizona, and allowing this energy to be spread through this region as well.
Yeah, and it's really fun here. We've started to, I think just in the last couple months, meet a lot more people coming through the shop, and having a lot of fun meeting more like-minded people, and you know, people getting to know who's around here. And there's such a eclectic bunch of people here. We've met a lot of light workers in the last couple months, and a lot of them are from kind of around the world. It's a very eclectic place here. People from England, other states, from the north, just a lot of people just being led to be here in this area near Sedona. And it's funny because the key is kind of been the word near Sedona, that we're not actually in that town, but that town is a huge vortex, and it has been considered a sacred land within the Native community. And the natives always lived around the sacred centers. They didn't actually live on them or in them. And I think that's part of the energy why so many are getting drawn to this area. This is a beautiful valley here, and it's close enough to feel the energy, and it's close enough to visit easily, but we're not like in the center of it, and we're kind of away from the consumerism that has kind of grown a little bigger than most people would like for the area.
Yeah, it has become a madhouse there. It's a beautiful spiritual community that it is. Light workers, very powerful light workers from all over the world have gathered there to spread the light there. I think perhaps it's been oversaturated, certainly over-commercialized, and now they're finding their balance point between the sacred and capitalism. And because the competition is through the roof there, and you can imagine with hundreds and maybe 1,000 or more metaphysical shops there, the energy is pretty intense. Whereas you get down here, and we got just one or two shops in this whole region. So it's starting to allow that sacred energy of the Sedona red rocks to percolate out and saturate the valley, the Verde Valley in this case, down below.
Yeah, the traffic's quite bad even going from here to there, especially in holiday season, and yeah, we've encountered that a little bit ourselves, so it can become more like an hour drive than a 35-minute drive.
Whereas here we walk to work in about 15 minutes. I often call it a one-horse town, smallest town I've ever lived in. So a very quiet, mellow energy around here, and so I've adapted, and she's right at home. So
yes, I love this, and I lived in a town even smaller than this before. When I was in Bridge North, so that's a pretty tiny little spot compared to here.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and do our reading now. We'll see how our time goes. I think we'll probably have to run, well, we're going to have an hour show, but we're probably going to run until about 2:30 today to get our hour in. And if you do have any questions or comments out there, this is a listener-supported show, meaning that your comments and questions are very vital to keeping the flow going. Not just about the two people on the camera, but all those people watching from abroad. Your questions and comments are very important to not only us, but to the other listeners.
We got an awesome card today.
Okay, let me show the deck. This is the Earth Wisdom Oracle cards by Barbara Moore, and that's a picture of that, if I can get it on the screen there, and a beautiful deck of Earth Wisdom.
And today's card is Transformation. Beautiful, beautiful energy with that, and so appropriate for the energies that are coming in right now. I believe that's a 16, which is a 7 in numerology, so 7 being the spiritual card, spiritual number. And with that, transformation is change, but this is good change. This is like, the metamorphosis change to the butterfly. So all the changes that are coming in are good. This energy is pushing us to embrace the new and to let go of the heavy energy. And as I said, just allow yourself to feel and be happy in this energy. Stay in the present moment and just embrace the lightness of the energy coming in, the healing part of the energy coming in, and know that it's bringing in these wonderful changes. And I believe the next few months are very vital to this, and we're just at the beginning of seeing major shifts. And I mean, Mother Earth has been going through this. There's so many volcanoes going on right now, so many earthquakes. If you look at an actual map of just seismic activity, it is just pretty much everywhere. And Mother Earth is trying to keep them small so she's not damaging too much. But most of these earthquakes are between 4 and 6 or 7 on the scale. They're not huge ones, but they are spread out and they are everywhere. And that is all taking its toll and bringing this energy in. So embrace all that transformation and becoming the butterfly.
What's important is it is going to get a little rough there. Mother Earth is a massive, loving being, a very conscious being, and just like us, she's going through a lot of transformations as well. I mean, there's always been earthquakes and that type of transformation going on, but now there's a great intensity going on as the plasma belt sweeps across this part of the Earth, and we're also going through transformation ourselves. In fact, it starts at the smallest level, at a cellular level, and the light is infusing each one of our cells right down to the atomic level, and as it does, it infills us with light, and this is why we see auras around the Ascended Masters and other life forms, because the light has become so strong, internalized, that it now begins to shine outwardly. If you look at the planets around us, pictures from 10 years ago, they're glowing much brighter now, as is the Earth's glowing much brighter now. So it is a transformation that's going on, a really very wonderful one. It can be a little scary. I just wanted to say that I see the mask dropping all over the Earth right now. We're seeing less and less controls as the Illuminati plays its next card, the vaccination card. But at the end of the day, this is waking more and more people up. The Earth is becoming more and more conscious. I often wondered, I've been doing this 40 years, what would be the great trick that would wake up humanity, and how would the Illuminati try to play it out? So as far as I can see, this is one of their big tricks right now: get everybody to mask up and keep fear and separation, close the borders, etc. But really all it's doing is it's waking people up, because they recognize the complete lunacy of the game show that's going on. So all's good in paradise, even though it is uncomfortable to have masking rules or freedoms restricted. At the end of the day, we're waking up more than ever. I've seen such a conscious awareness. Millions of people are marching in the street for freedom now, whereas before they were much more passive. So, and really we've just begun. The best is yet to come.
definitely is yet to come. And I hear May 15th is a huge day. It's supposed to be a worldwide gathering of all the cities, and if there's an actual website for that, and you can look up in your own nearest big center where your meeting place is, but everyone in the world is participating in this. There's cities and countries all over, and just trying to get our human rights, constitutional rights back, and to have the truth come out. And it's really up to the people right now. We have to stand up and not allow these things to go unnoticed. You know, that we're aware of what our human rights are, and these experimental things going on should not be pushed. We have a choice in this. In fact, I don't see any incentive whatsoever to take any of these vaccines. I'm sorry, because they just are an experiment. The FDA has not approved them. They were an emergency thing only. They have, the companies themselves that make them, they have no liability whatsoever. And so if there is any problems with them, with your health, why would your insurance pay for that? Because they are an experiment. So nobody's going to be liable for this. And the risks of getting this, I call it flu-like COVID, is they're just really not that big. No more than any other flu any other year. Yes, it has hit hard, but the flu hits hard every couple of years, and unfortunately people that are susceptible, like the elderly, do die from that, but many of them have so many underlying problems. It's just the way life is. And you know, there's a preventable, I think there's a preventable way to look at that too. There's vitamin D3, zinc, and garlic, and vitamin C. So taking these certain vitamins really boost your immune system, and that's really important. That's what they did in India. They seem to have gotten rid of it faster than anywhere else, and that's what they did for their people. They actually handed out vitamin packs and used traditional methods, and they are pretty much over it. So we have to be proactive here, because sometimes the you know, to take something that has more risk than even getting this thing doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Well, there's that depopulation type of thing going on. It's actually been going on for decades now, if not eons, and you know, the ruling parties really want the earth for themselves, and less people means more power for them. And you know, it is tragic. We should be focusing on the you know, approximately 1 million or more people that die of starvation every year, a totally preventable problem that is here on Earth. So to add to those numbers through dangerous toxins, injections in this case, and not to mention just masking up, which is a very dangerous thing in itself. You know, they did the same thing in World War I. They said that there was a dangerous flu. I think it was called the German flu, and more people died from there's different names out there, and more people actually died from the masking up than ever did from any purported flu that was going on. So it's a interesting times that we're living in now. Hopefully we all get through this in good cheer. For those that see it as a great cosmic joke, and know that things are progressing towards enlightenment. Anyway, just try to keep it light, and you know, God bless the people that do suffer, and I hope they do get comfort.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think the key here is stay healthy. The other thing is, the media has not reported, has reports all these numbers that aren't quite accurate, because they report positives. Many of the positives had no symptoms. We have to remember that. And the other real numbers are that there's 7.8 billion people on the planet, and 7.7 billion people never got it. And those that got it, those cases, many of those had no symptoms. And 97.3%, I believe, recovered that did get it. So with those numbers, I can't see that there's anything that needs to be done. I mean, that doesn't warrant in any stretch of the word,
shutting down the
being
world.
an experiment for a pharmaceutical company. I'm sorry, that just doesn't warrant it. Those numbers are just ridiculously positive that you're going to be fine. So with that, I'll say, yeah, just embrace this new energy and know that raising your vibration is the best thing you can do for yourself and for the planet and for the collective consciousness. And when we do that, all these things will fall by the wayside. Sicknesses will leave the planet eventually when we all raise our vibration high enough. They just won't be here anymore. So I look forward to that day.
Well, I want to take this moment to welcome Fiona Angel.
Oh, hi Fiona.
I think you know who that is.
Yes.
Fiona
was here a couple times.
Is that the one from Continuum?
Yeah.
Welcome. Enjoyed our talk last week, and it seems like you were actually in here last Friday, or Sunday when we had the show.
Yeah.
Was it last Friday?
Might have been.
In our shop here, and we didn't get a chance to talk to you then. So glad to see you live on our show. What do you got for us?
Welcome. Well, it's funny, we were talking about getting rid of the old and in with the new, and I just flipped through my book and this page opened where I had lived in one house raising, as was our family home where all the children grew up, and we'd been there like 26 years, and when I moved out of there was a lot of cleaning out to do, a lot of storage things and closet to go through, etc. And I remember feeling that every load I took to Goodwill or donated or items that people came and bought that I put on Kijiji or whatever, and it just felt like a load was taken off. Every bag or truckload that went out just felt like, oh, I can breathe a little easier. That's a whole pile of stuff I'm not responsible for anymore. And it was just a real lightening for me. And so we have to realize that all of those things that we put away, we store away for another day and just forget about. Basically, if you have the space, unfortunately, you usually just forget about it. 10 years later, it's still there. So that is solidified energy. Matter is energy, and we have to realize that all that energy is taking up space in our environment. It's energy we're responsible for, and if we're not using it, give it away, get rid of it, give it to someone who can use it, because that creates a vacuum for all the new energy to come in. And it's amazing how that works when you pull that stuff you're not using out and get rid of it. All of a sudden this new stuff starts flowing into your life, and it just creates a huge turnaround of what you really do need instead of all the stagnant things that are around you.
Simplicity is the key, and as we tend to hold on to things, particularly material things, and it's got flash or even people, if we hang on to anything in our lives, that's a real energetic pull on our lives, and it might be nice to have those things in your life, but how are they helping you? Are they bringing you blessings, or have they become a weight in your life? And so I would say that if they become a weight in your life, you may want to look at that again and see if there's a way that you can bring more light into your life, both through a lighter load, but also through energy of just bringing more light, more enlightenment into your life. Okay.
So we kind of did that too when we came to Arizona. We got rid of so much from our big house we had there, and it was such a good feeling, because I know the stuff we was useful, that we got rid of some of it, but I knew that it would be replaced here, and you find new things, you find better things, you find things that fit your life, your new life better, and it's all fun and adventure. And if you look at it like that, you can never really lose anything, because metaphysically speaking, we are everything. We exist within everything, and so you can't really ever lose something. And when we look at things that way, we can let it go with ease and grace, and know that, the thing that will be more useful is on its way already as you're letting go of that other thing.
So true. We're still waiting for our first comment. Well, we've got a number of comments. We're still waiting for our first questions, or inquiries, or interesting statements. This is a listener-supported show, so if feel free to speak up and help guide our show to make it even more interesting for our listeners. And so what's next? You got a card for me, or?
Card for you. There you go.
Okay. We'll do a card from the Rainbow Bridge class. It's something I've done. I've actually taught Rainbowology for over 40 years now, being guided to do that at a young age. And these are some cards from that, some talking points from that. And it says, time is the center focus of rainbow equation in all experience. So time is indeed an interesting subject. Some people say it doesn't exist. I tend to think that time is an integral part of life, or the flowing of experience. It may appear it doesn't take any time, especially in the 5D realm, when all that gets kind of blended together into the now. But there was a flow of experience. There was something you were doing one moment, and the next moment you're doing something else. Well, the time between that was actually time. And I found it interesting that I placed the rainbow equation in this axis today, because you can see it right over my shoulder there. That's the 3D triangle with the white stone in the center of it, which is also a vector equilibrium, a very sacred geometric shape. And when we look at the time axis, you know, it is a part of the rainbow study. It's actually, there's three main axes to the rainbow equation. There's a linear axis, a circular axis, and there's a time axis. So it's interesting that time would be included in the study of the rainbow, but that's how vital it is. We're actually going through a great shift in our time axes now. The time is being shortened, where the feedback loop, which may have taken days or weeks to come back to us, sometimes can come back to us in seconds, if not instantaneously. So synchronicity is soaring right now. I'm sure all of our listeners have noticed the sync in their life as flowing. So when we want to study the rainbow equation, certainly time is a big part of that. Time is very mystical. I actually got a very large chapter about time in my book called The Rainbow Connection. So you know, if you want to learn more about time, that might be one way to do that. But it's a very important aspect to our life, and in this case, the rainbow study.
Time is a great phenomenon, and it really is kind of the realm we experience life in general through, because everything seems to take time. Movement seems like it takes time, but yet we are always in the now, we're always in the present, and it's like we just move from flow naturally from this present to the next present moment, and we're present in each moment. So I think it was Neil Donald Walsh's book that described that there's like a time continuum, and that may be static, and it may be us that's moving through this tunnel of time, and really it's not time moving as a thing itself, that it may be all there, everything that every moment of time could be already there, and we're just kind of moving through it. And I think in different realms and different dimensions, we can pick and choose where we show up in it. We can put our consciousness in the past, we can put it in the future, and we can kind of choose the nows that we want to experience. And I kind of believe that with our lifetime, if you look at your lifetime as a bubble within the flower of life, how all those circles kind of overlap each other, in our lives where they overlap is where we touch each other, and that's where we experience a common reality, but yet it's still from our own perspective. Our life has a beginning and end here in 3D, and that is our bubble. That is our time bubble from the moment we're born to the moment we pass away from this 3D life, but we still exist. That is just kind of the bubble of this incarnation or this lifetime. And if you look at it that way, it makes you realize that you chose that specific time to be here and experience this lifetime. And it doesn't mean that, you know, the next lifetime has to be in the future of this lifetime. It could actually be in the past if you wanted it to be, if that was productive for your soul, because that too is its own bubble. And if we traveled through that time continuum and landed there, we could experience something there as well. So I'm not sure that there has to be a linear order to it. Linear is just kind of an order we put to things so we can make sense of it here in 3D.
Well, and the whole time thing, at least how I've seen, I've often looked at synchronicities, and how a synchronicity is it may appear in the now moment, because we recognize what, well, all things are in the now moment, but at the same time the timeline, if you want to call it that, is flowing from future into the now, and then that past experience and the now experience is creating our future. So all three modalities, past, present, and future, are contained in each moment of the now moment. I often think of Eckhart Tolle's book, Be Here Now. As amazing as that is, when I think of Be Here Now, I'm actually living in the past, I'm living in the future, because I know that all of my past experiences is creating my future, as is this now moment, and even the future experiences are leading us into this now moment, and I believe created our past. That's what destiny is all about, pulling us into this paradigm of the now moment. It's very alive. All of that energy of the future is, and our destiny is creating our moments right now. It created our parents, it created our situations, it created the entire environment around us. So and that's all future experiences. So that this whole thing of Be Here Now, as important as that's the name of the book, and I think Be Here Now was somebody else that popularized that, and it's all important, and it is important to be present in the now, because that's where we're actually at any given second, but not to discard the past or the future, because they're just as vital to the timelines as the now moment is.
They are, but I feel the power of now is important, because it does, whatever we are focusing on now is what we're attracting into our future, and so that does become a powerful moment. So it's nice to be aware of that, and to know that if you want to plan for your future, be happy in the now, be focused on positive things in the present, and that will kind of make it take care of itself for you.
Very good. So, given any future questions, sort of someone trying to solicit readings from our viewing audience, which is fine. It's a free world out there, and hopefully this person has some good advice. And we do readings here too, as everybody knows. So Mystic Muse is actually kind of a twofold process. We do have our retail shop over there where we offer crystals and books and all things metaphysical, and then just across the hall here you'll be able to get readings, Reiki, past life regressions. We offer a number of classes here, including an emotion class, that's emotion code class that's happening here tomorrow. I think we still have a few more openings for that if anybody wants to be a part of that. A very reasonable price and invaluable information. So Mystic Muse is trying to be a full service metaphysical shop, and glad to do that.
Yeah, the emotion code's very great for this time, because so many people are dealing with so many emotions, and it doesn't have to be emotions from this life, it can be from past lives as well. And this is an easy way to discover what those emotions are that you're holding within your body, and to release them and let them go. And so if you wanted to get in on that, you can come here tomorrow at 1 o'clock or give me a call, and we are doing a workshop here in this very room.
Mystic Muse Online will be able to guide you into any phone numbers or contact numbers to reach us here at 365 Main Street, right here in downtown Camp Verde. And says that, I think Fiona says, emotion code is fabulous, very excellent, and simply took. Well, thank you, Fiona. And it's like so many of the mystical sciences out there. It's amazing how it works, and there's actually quite a bit of science behind it as well. And
there is. It was actually developed by a doctor, and but as everything that is like a healing modality, it's very guided from spirit as well. So combining the two make it very powerful.
Yep. So what else we got here? We're a little scattered today. We actually started a half hour early because synchronicity brought two amazing customers to our doors. Very very enlightened mother and son, and they just wanted to know everything about our shop as 30 minutes of our normal start time ticked away. So we're going to be running into the 2 o'clock hour in this time zone, and we'll just keep going until we get about an hour here. Any comments or questions? Otherwise, we'll just I'll start talking more about rainbowology, one of my specialties.
Well, I just wanted to say it's a very important time right now with the transformations going on that you really listen to your intuition, and if you feel guided to go somewhere or to do something, to just do it, to just follow that little nudge that you're getting, and without questioning it too much, because when we analyze it or question it too much, we'll often not find a good reason to do it, and the reason won't be found until you actually do it. So that's the magic, is letting that flow happen and following the clues. It's like looking for something and following the breadcrumbs, because if you don't follow the breadcrumbs, you never get to discover the source. You never get to discover what it is you were meant to find. And if you just stay home and go, well, I'm not going to listen to that today, you won't feel the magic. You won't get the messages that you were meant to get. So by all means, follow those nudges. If you feel like you're being told to visit someone or go into nature or do a certain thing, please pay attention and follow that intuition, because you will be very glad that you did in the end.
I see we do have a question there, so she said something else, but we'll go ahead and stay with our listener-supported questions. This looks like it's coming from Ahava.
Energy. Yeah, we felt the moon energy was very big on Monday, and it's a real releasing energy. As we were saying, it kind of fit in with the card we had today and with where I opened my book today about just releasing all that heavy old energy and letting go of things. And the emotion code is helping people do that as well. So it's really about unloading the baggage that's within. We may not even know it's there until we really get triggered by something. And it not only pulls things out from this life, it pulls things out from past lives as well.
Well, I think there's a combination that's going on right now. We've had full moons before, but what's happening now is that we're combining it with the cosmic energy that's sweeping across this part, the cosmic light energy, and the plasma energy that's sweeping across this part of the area and increasing consciousness to greater levels. So when we get something like a super moon energy, that's going to have a more grand effect than perhaps ever before. I can think of just in my own personal stream, there's some really intense things that happened as that moon got to its peak performance. And thankfully that those have quieted down. All of those things were necessary to get to wake up these people. Some of them actually very tragic, and but you know, we never know what the grand purpose of things are, so we tend to want to go with the flow, keep our love and light high, keep sending the healing and loving, and you know, and continue to be that earth angel for those people that are perhaps a little confused by the intense energies that are going on right now. These will thin down, the energies will stop spiking a little bit to give us a little bit of breathing room right now, but we do continue to rise higher and higher in enlightenment and cosmic energy right now. So this is going to be kind of the new norm of crystalline energy and living in the 5D reality, and you know, so hang on, it's only going to get more enlightened and more amazing, and you know, just you know, keep the spirits high and keep the joy and laughter high, because that's what's going to take to get us through it. You know, all is well, but there is tremendous transformational energies happening right now.
It's very important right now to always remember our unity conscious, remember love, remember oneness, remember unity, because there's so many things out there. The powers that be are trying to divide us, you know, whether it's by race or whether it's with masks and vaccines or whatever it is. We have to love everyone, and just because they are at different levels or they think different right now, we have to have that love for everyone, and just live and let live, basically, and know that things are getting better that way, and that things are weeding themselves out, but we have to stay in that love and light and realize that we have to love everyone. Stop letting things divide us, stop having people take sides, and just try to feel this love energy and this unity where peace can really reign and be here across the world.
Well, we do the best we can at any given moment. Meditation is very important, getting out in nature, eating right, keeping your fluids right, and just generally living in a love energy will help you get through all of this. You know, whereas living in fear of what may come, and you know, buying into the big lie of state-run media is going to bring you more fear. So you know, throw out your TVs if all you can find is low energy shows, and but there are some high energy shows out there.
It's getting harder to find them,
far and few between, I have to say.
It's getting harder to find.
Because all the media is by and large run by state Illuminati type of interests. So you know, start to turn in, get out into nature, simplify your life, because you're going to be given even grander connections that way than you could ever get through you know, false medias.
It's true, you know, just listening to it, you know, it's hard to find, you know, things that are available to watch anymore are becoming more violent and darker, and we have to be the ones that say, you know what, I don't want to watch this. I'm not, you know, going to get that subscription. I'm not going to buy into that. I'm going to really look harder and find things that enlighten me, or that have a good message to them, or have happy endings, because it's really, you know, why have this fear of the future? I think some of these, I really believe the goal of some of these productions that are out there, they're so dramatic and so fearful that people watch them just so they can feel good about their own life. We watch something horrific like that and go, oh, well, that's horrible, but oh, my life is so calm in comparison to that, it must be good. And I think, no, this is backwards. That's totally backwards. We need to be the ones that dream about how good it can be. What if things can be wonderful? What if there can be peace everywhere? What if everybody could be loving and understanding and enjoy? What if a world looked like that? So we have to be the ones that are projecting this this higher vibration, not fearing what if this happens and it's only getting worse. No. That's the wrong approach. We have to put it the other way. And what if it's wonderful? Let's keep going and see how wonderful it can get.
Well, it's going to continue to get more and more wonderful as we go through our season of change. It's in all the prophecies, whether it's a Christian or Muslim or Hindu. They all have a positive outcome, even though they all also have a time of transformation where things seem to get darkest before the actual rainbow appears. And I want to take this moment, I think we're actually down to our last 10 minutes, to say I had a very exciting time in our shop yesterday when a young man came into our shop. I think he was about 8 years old, obviously a crystal diamond rainbow child. And because he walked in with this tremendous enlightenment, seeing everything, and like every word out of his mouth was a pearl, just an amazing person. And then he got over to the rainbow equation, which is what you're seeing right over there on my shoulders, actually turned in that perspective in the shop. And I've been doing this 40 years, but I have never seen a child or any adult or any person that got the rainbow equation as eloquently as this young man expressed himself. He saw the rainbow painted upon all the shapes and how they blended together, and expressed it in or perhaps very few words, but every word that he spoke was so amazing. When many years ago, I think it's been 10, 20 years ago, I knew that the rainbow story is a story. The rainbow equation is something that's written for the young at heart, for the coming up generation, and that's why the subtitle is Gen Z and the Language of Light. Gen Z being the final generation, primarily born after the year 2000, into the year 2010, and these children are just so amazing. They're going to be the ones that change our world. They are the true rainbow children that have come here to see the light and to be the light. So it was a wonderful testimony to have this young man look at the rainbow equation with such eyes of wonders and knowledge. So I know it's quite confusing to most of my adult friends. In fact, most of the light workers I show it to, no matter how so-called advanced they are, they say, huh, what's that? And we can't get two sentences. But in the eyes of a child, a crystal child in this case, quite remarkable. That the language of light is written all there in a very simplistic fashion. It is the universal language of light, so it's something that doesn't need a textbook to try to explain it. It's all written there upon those modulars in the colors of the rainbow, in the colors of sacred geometry, as they all align in perfect alignment with the rainbow. So it's a very mystical, magical puzzle set that the rainbow equation is, and I was just so grateful that this young crystal child could come in and remind me that there are people out there that are actually going to get it, and most of them are
and that's the
under about
generation that your book was truly written for, I believe. So I think it's just kind of coming into its own time right now, and it was written really for that generation. So there's going to be more and more children like that, and they will gravitate towards this, and they already are. But I think he was definitely under 10 years old, and he knew words like trapezoid and Rubik's Cube. He knew what all these things were, and it was really amazing to see, and just a very enlightened child that very wise beyond his years, we'll say. Yeah,
it was really, really wonderful. At times I get discouraged as book sales have been low, and I talk to people and their eyes glaze over. I've actually pulled away from the sacred geometry part of it quite a bit myself, because even for myself, I don't find it necessarily all that interesting. I find the entire package very interesting. The revelation, the prophecy, the earth changes aspects to it, very amazing and interesting. The geometry part of it, that's a little harder for me to explain. That was more my teachers, my mentors, golden golden ratio as it were, and he did an amazing job with that. He actually developed the rainbow equation. So it's all important. In a very large chapter about the rainbow equation in the book called The Rainbow Connection. So it is the most important part of the rainbow study, but at times it does get lost in the area of mind when it really is just a beautiful overall statement of love and peace.
It is. It's wonderful. It was good to see him, and there'll be more. I expect more to come in. Definitely.
Okay, I think we need to wrap up this show so we don't go over our hour.
Okay.
And not seeing any other questions up there. Do you want to do your credits?
Okay. Well, if you're interested in past lives or near-death experiences, this is the book for you. My near-death experience when I was 4, having my tonsils out, till I'm almost 50, and the journey that has taken me on. This is my CD, and this is Love Will Find a Way. These are 8-channel songs, and they all have a nice life lesson in them as well, so a nice message in them. So both can be found on mysticmusonline.com and on Amazon, and my blog is deborahchristylove.wordpress.com.
Good. And my book is The Rainbow Connection, Gen Z and the Universal Language of Light. You'll recognize the logo circle 7 spinning there through the universal matrix. And this book is over 40 years in the making, and is I'm assured the most advanced rainbow book out there ever, approaching all levels of rainbowology, be it science, spirituality, revelation. It's all written in there, available on Amazon, over 80 color illustrations, so the price is a little bit more, but also available in ebooks as well. And this is another book of mine that I've written, a children's book. You'll again notice the logo circle 7, my theme, and The Wizard of Oz, Journey into Rainbow Self, a very easy read, but also a very deep read. And it will take you through the miracles of the rainbow and finding the rainbow self. So a great way to get connected for children of all ages. Love Illuminations, 160 writings of love and peace written when I was in the ashram, my highest and best thought for the day. So all of these books are available on Amazon. You can just search my name, David Shepherd Love, or her name, Deborah Christie Love, if you want to find any of our works out there. Come and visit our shop at 365 Main Street, right here in downtown. I want to say downtown Sedona, almost in Camp Verde. We're located at the back of the shop here in the Main Street Studios, right? Big yellow building, can't miss it. So 365 Main Street, and Mystic Muse Online is our website. We have lots of information there about the classes and different things that we do here at Mystic Muse. So I think that covers our credits.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time, and hopefully we'll be on time.
Well, customers first. Have a great week, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.